Bitcoin on the daily chart to start us off with. Let's look at the concerns. We're still in an uptrend by definition. We're putting in higher lows. We're putting in higher highs. Now, what would cause us to start to maybe panic a little bit, or at least, put up our spidey sense? We need to be watching for, lower lows. And where would we get that? Well, we have two spots we need to be watching. One, this low close right there. The lowest close is 21,628 on this. Why not this close? Well, I'm glad you asked. That would be our first lower low, right? Because you're bringing a low, you got a high, you got a lower, a higher low, a higher high, and so far higher low. So we could come all the way back down to this guy, right? As long as we close above 21,628 today, we're still okay. So we could even come down to the 200 EMA. Right in this pink line, right? We're still okay. That's a big moving average. So that's step one on the close. Step two, we could actually wick lower than that and we're still okay, right? Wicks just tell where the price went during that given candle. So where's that wick at? Well, it's this guy right here, right? That low close, or the lowest close here, the lowest wick right here. So 20,370. So if we wick down, right, that, for illustrative purposes, let's just do that, right? Let's put a horizontal line right there. That's our low, right? If we wick lower than that, we got some issues, right? Or at least, something to be watching. And then our lowest close is right here. Let's color that in like something different, right? Yellow. So we have we're still good there as long as this candle today, in 9 hours, 57 minutes, if we close above that, we're good. If we wick, you see us pricing down here, it's still okay, right? If you're watching this in 2 hours from now or 5 hours from now, but we still haven't closed and we're down here, we're still okay. Closing price here, wick down here. If we have one of those break with a close or a wick, then we need to, re-examine, and our uptrend might be ending, right? Does that confirm if we just do one of those? No. Because if we kind of come back and erase that quickly, we can still recover. But we must at that point, right? We must take out this highest close, right? We'd have to do that. Otherwise, that would confirm the trend, right? Because if we come back, say we end up, breaking both of those, and we close down here, but we like super recover and then take out this high, right? And we close up here. Right, this would be a fake out, or a head fake is what that's called. And then we could, kind of V-shaped recovery, fake out down, and we'd definitely just continue our trend, right? More likely than not, high, higher, high, higher, high, with a fake out to the downside. You can have fake outs, right? That happens. But if we come on the other hand, right, where would we confirm our reversal of this uptrend that we've been in is if we break down here and we come back up, and then we put in a lower high, right? If you see us roll over before taking that out around 25K, then we're in trouble, right? Then that's your get out moment right here. If we come back down and start to roll, that would be a big warning, and one not to be ignored, especially if we've done something like this and taken out this low or this low wick, right? So we'll talk about that more in the coming days. Just trying to prepare you because today is Friday, coming weekend. So watch those levels for daily closes. Now that we've talked about the daily, let's look at a couple indicators, right? Let's see what the indicators back this up. The RSI, Relative Strength Index, going down to lows we haven't seen in quite some time, right? We're going all the way back to January, really, since we've been under 50. We are now, right, let's zoom in here, right? You can see this. We're at a lower point than we've been basically all of 2023. So that's a sign of weakness by definition. The strength is rolling out. Our stochastic, right, based on the RSI. The RSI is based on price. The stochastic is based on the RSI. So that's showing your momentum in a nutshell. And we have no momentum, right? So that's not good as well. So any good news? The MFI, no. Money flow index, this calculates volume in as well. That is also going down, as you can see, confirming our downwards candle. How about the next one? Do we have any good news there? No. We've just crossed bearish on the daily, right? The red crosses the green. When is the last time that happened? Well, you got to go all the way back to December, right? That lasted for a little bit, right? That's our last bearish cross is December, over months ago, right? So keep that in mind. At the same time, the ADX is going down as well. The ADX is in your orange, the DI is the positive in the green, and the negative in the red. We like to talk about it as bears in the red, bulls in the green, right? Who's in charge now? The bears, right? So that's our ADX and DI. Now this is on the daily. We'll take a look at the weekly as well and make sure that, everything's confirming, right? The Fisher transform triggered down. That is a trigger sell. So also not great, right? If you're a bull, right? These are all kind of signs of weakness, if you will. So having said that, let's go back to our charts. Let's look at the weekly, the bigger picture. Now, if you see some things on the weekly, then you need to start getting a little bit more concerned because the daily already looks a little suspect, right? The weekly, well, we have our, by definition, tweezer top so far, but it did not confirm this weekly candle. It could possibly confirm this candle, right? If we don't make any higher highs, then that would confirm that. Then if there's no higher top, then that is the top, right? This is not good. Although this candle was a more indecisive candle than anything, right? A long-legged doji, right? This is when you have a wick to the bottom, a wick to the top, and a relatively short candle body, which we had there. So indecision, and now we're seeing who's potentially winning that battle, at least for this week. Still okay, right? We don't want to be closing under the EMA8. Why the EMA8? That's your highest really moving average that we're looking at, or at least lowest time frame, right? If that makes sense. In an uptrend, in a strong uptrend or a downtrend, that tends to be the line in the sand that kind of holds the bears down, or the bulls up, right? So we need to bounce, right? Just like we did back in February, right? We ran right into EMA8 and then bounced, and now we're back at it again. So it's okay, right? As long as we close above the EMA8, we're okay. Could we go any lower? Yes, we could actually going to go down to the EMA 21 week EMA, and that would still be okay. That exact number, let's get an exact number, 21, about 21.2 right now, okay? So as long as we're holding above that, if we can weekly close kind of down there and kind of still recover, right? The bulls still have energy as long as we're above there. If we close below that, then there's all kinds of issues that come out, because that would also, negate this top here before the FTX week. This is FTX candle here. Nice recovery here, kind of a fulcrum bottom, right? This is a rare pattern, but we're seeing the play out of that. We should not be closing back below that. If we do, that is a huge warning sign, right? If we close under this candle, we're in some serious trouble, right? This would be probably the biggest fake out in history. I'm not sure if that's the odds just yet, but if we close under that candle, that closed at like 20,900, we have major warnings. So watch out for this week, next week, any week, right? We do not want to close back below that. Below this candle as well is even concerning, right? 20,900. If we're under that and closing, that's probably an exit signal, right? Not financial advice, but I would probably take anything you got in the market at that point. Just me, what I would do is exit everything if we're under 20,900 with a closing weekly price. So throwing that out there, okay? On the other hand, right, we're still in an uptrend on the weekly, right? We're making higher high, low, higher low. We're still good, right? By definition, we're still good. But just trying to prepare you for all scenarios. That's all the point of this channel is. Unbiased on everything. You should always be looking at bullish and bearish scenarios in every attempt that you look at a chart, right? You need to try to combat. And whoever has the most evidence, usually you should be following that person, right? The bull or the bear. You should be like a referee in crypto, right? You're not rooting or cheering for anybody. Although most of us are cheering for the bulls in the long term. You need to, if you want to be a better trader, you need to always look at both sides of the coin in anything that you're investing money in, right? So, looking at the weekly RSI, are we still good there? We are, but we're pressing the issue, right? Historically speaking, right, we're looking at like kind of mid to low 50s to separating like the property line on the bullish and bearish scenarios, right? Bearish under here, bullish above here, right? Bull market, bear market, bear market, right? Just by definition. This is going all the way back to 2018 bear, the 2022 bear, and now we're trying to hold the fence. Otherwise, you know, the bears are trying to get us to, you know, come have a cup of tea back over at the bear house, right? Goldilocks is gone. They've eaten her. They need some more. They need Bitcoin. Stupid stories. So what else we got? Well, the positive is we're still, you know, pedal to the metal, Lambo on, you know, the highway. Momentum. Our momentum is up on the weekly. We're still okay until you see that red line, which is the average of the blue, come back into the shaded area, right? That's when we really start to let off the pedal, right? And we start to lose momentum. We're getting scared, right? We're going too far, too fast. We're seeing the po-po. We gotta pump the brakes, and that's not what you want to see for the bullish momentum. But we're still okay so far, so good. Don't you love the retarded analogies? All right, MFI. Good news there too, right? We're still increasing. We're still increasing, but you know, we have not made a higher high, right? You can see this kind of trend here, right? Boom, boom, and still lower, although we're trying to fight here. So the weekly, I'd love to see us close above 80. That would be, you know, a good win for the bulls. But so far, we're still moving up, right? That's the good news, but we haven't, you know, taken out this high yet. So uptrend for the MFI on the weekly, still good. How about for the ADX and the I? We're still good here, but it's looking kind of suspect, right? The bears are trying to recover. The ADX is pointing down, so that's not a great sign. It's under 25, no power. But the bulls, you know, clear cut, bulls are still on top, right? So not big impressive there though. On balance volume looks, you know, nothing too suspect there. We're still kind of in an uptrend since 2023, right? We're going up. Fisher transform. Let's zoom in here. Here's this is where we should start getting a little cautious here, right? This is probably the lowest we've seen the weekly since we crossed to a buy signal, basically, you know, the first part of the year, and then we haven't looked back since. So it's not the end of the world if we cross down and go back and retest like 21K, 20K even. We could do that and still remain bullish because, like, the Fisher transform has broken a multi-year downtrend, right? Going all the way back to 2019, really. We put in lower high after lower high after lower high after lower high. Ideally, right, you could see this, I mean, almost textbook running into this, you know, the trend line, damn. Breakout here, right, good sign there. But, you know, we're at risk of certainly losing big momentum on the weekly Fisher transform, which it doesn't tend to kind of flip-flop, right? We got a little hesitation before a big move, but if we cross trigger down here, right, this wouldn't update until the close, the weekly close. So we'll be watch that for this close, right? If you see the Fisher transform trigger down, something like this or like this or like this, realize what comes next. It doesn't usually just give a fake out, although it can happen. But you know, more odds than not, if this triggers down at remember the daily chart that we looked at initially, that would likely spell at least, I would say at least a retest of 21K or the 21-week moving average. We're not that far off of it, right? Current prices, we're only 5% away from it, really. But I would say we're at least going there, if not lower, if that Fisher transform triggers down. So take with that information what you will. You need to be paying attention, right? Especially with this top scenario. The daily chart not looking good in any way, shape, or form, right? Remember this daily chart not looking excellent, or great, or good. It's kind of the good, bad, and the ugly, mostly the latter. All of our indicators are kind of leaning, bearish, leaning bearish, right? We're not there yet, right? We're still technically in an uptrend, right? If you want to be able to draw trend lines more perfectly, put it on a closing price, right? And then you want to draw it from the bottoms, right? There you go. And then, you know, that is your best way to do it. And you can see right here. I mean, look at how suspect we're doing right now. Let's remove all the noise, right? Sometimes the cleanest charts speak the loudest. Look where we are. It's okay, right? We haven't closed this. But at the end of the day, 9 hours, 44 minutes now, if we're still under here, it's not a loss, right? Because we're still have what we talked about. Here's our low. We're still in uptrend by definition until you see that blue close under here, but certainly a sign, a warning sign, potential caution if we're here in 9 hours and 44 minutes from now. So I'll leave you with that. Let's do quote of the day. For the 4 of you that are still watching, appreciate it. The richest love is that which submits to the arbitration of time. Sure, bud. Let's get to our car of the day. The Dodge Viper, the elusive. And maybe you've never seen it. Like, what the hell is that? It's Dodge Viper. I've never seen that one, Chase. This was a concept. I wish they would have made it. The GTSR. But not all hope is lost. Maybe they're still going to make it, but probably not. Here's the new version, right? This is the late model Viper that's out, now, the newest possible one. This is the GTSR as well. I think still a concept. Maybe they made a handful for production. I'm not sure on that. If you know, let me know. I don't think so, but GTSR, that was the first one back in the 2000s. The car still looks badass. Look at the single lug nut. One of the first people to do it. Them and the Porsche GT, the Carrera GT, I think, was the first kind of production car to really throw the single lugs on. Could be wrong, but I just make up facts because you're a crypto group and I can just talk about cars whatever the hell I want. All right. There we go. GTSR, Dodge Viper. One of the best things besides the Ford GT that America's ever created. Okay, maybe we go with Tesla.